Hello everyone. In this video, I would like to explain about what is parsing, different types of parsing techniques. Okay. First, let me explain about parsing. The parser starts constructing the parse tree. Okay. This parsing comes under the syntax analyzer phase. In the syntax analyzer phase, the compiler constructs the parse tree. Okay, or syntax tree. Okay. In the parsing, we have two different types of parsing techniques. One is top down parsing, okay, and the second one is bottom up parsing, okay. And again, this top down parsing and bottom up parsing are again subdivided into different parts, okay. I will explain in detail about these parsing techniques in the later videos. Now in this video, I would like to explain about predictive descent parsing. Okay, this predictive descent parsing is also called as non-recursive descent parsing. I will explain about this predictive descent parsing with an example in detail. This entire figure shows how the predictive parsing will be done. Okay, see, this is the input buffer. Okay, the input which we are taken into the compiler to construct the parse tree. Okay, and the values which we are taken in the input buffer will be stored in the stack. Okay, by using this stack, the values will be taken into the predictive parsing program, and in this program we will construct a parse table. Finally, we will get the output. Okay, let us consider a grammar and let us check how the parse table will be constructed by using that grammar. This is the example which we have taken for the predictive parsing technique. This predictive parsing technique is also called as non-recursive descent parsing technique. Okay, and first the grammar which we have taken for constructing the predictive parsing table. First we need to check whether the grammar is having four factors, that is left recursion, left factoring, backtracking and ambiguity. First we need to check whether the grammar is not having all these four factors or not. Okay, I have explained in detail about these four factors in my previous video. Okay, and I have also explained how to find out the first and follow for the given grammar. Okay, here I'm writing the first and follow directly for this grammar. This is the first of the given grammar and this is the follow of this given grammar. Okay, I'm not explaining about the first, how to find out the first and follow. For the same grammar I have solved in my previous video. If you want, you can go and check there. Okay, see, by using this first and follow, now I need to construct the parse table. Okay, see, for constructing the parse table, I need to consider the terminals and non-terminals. Okay, now I'm considering the terminal values in the column wise and I'm considering the non-terminal values in the row wise. Okay, now let us see how this parse table will be constructed by using this first and follow of the grammar. Okay, for constructing the parse table we need to follow two different steps. Okay, what are those two different steps means I'll explain here. See, if there is an epsilon in the first of the non-terminal, okay, if there is an epsilon in the non-terminal value, then the follow of that non-terminal value will be considered. Okay, see, if there is an epsilon in the first, then the follow of the non-terminal will be considered. Okay, this is the first step. And the second step is, if there is no epsilon in the first, then only the terminals in the first will be considered. Okay, these are the two simple steps which we are following for filling the values in this parse table. Okay, see, I need to fill the parse table for the non-terminal E. Okay, in this case, first I am considering the first of E. Okay, in the first of E, we are having an open brace and an ID. Okay, so we'll come to the grammar. Here E derives T E dash. This derivation will be placed in this parse table at open brace and ID. Okay, see, at open brace we are placing the derivation E derives T E dash. Okay, and at ID position also I am placing E derives T E dash. Now coming to E dash. In the first of E dash, we are having plus and epsilon. Here we will follow the first step. Okay, as it is having the epsilon in the first, I will consider this plus, and in this epsilon place I will consider the follow of E dash. Okay, see, in the first of E dash we are having plus. Okay, that means in this plus position I am placing the production E dash derives plus T dash. Okay, and the second terminal value is epsilon. In the parse table we are not supposed to consider the epsilon values, so instead of epsilon I am considering the follow of E dash. Okay, instead of epsilon I am considering the follow of E dash. In the follow of E dash we have closed brace and dollar. Okay, at this position we will place the production E dash derives epsilon. As it is representing the place of epsilon, I will write the production E dash derives epsilon in this parse table. Okay, E dash derives epsilon in closed brace. E dash derives epsilon in dollar. See, I'll explain it again. Here we are following the first step. As we are having an epsilon in the first, so I am considering the follow of this production. Okay, and as I am considering the follow of E dash in the place of epsilon, I am placing the derivation as E derives epsilon. Okay, E derives epsilon. Okay, now coming to T. In the first of T we are having an open brace and ID. Okay, here there is no confusion, so I am directly placing this T production in the open brace and ID. Okay, see, T derives FT dash and ID. T derives FT dash. Okay, now coming to T dash. In the first of T dash we are having star and epsilon. Again we are having an epsilon in the first, so I am following the step 1. Okay, in this step, as we are having an epsilon in the first, so I am considering the follow of that non-terminal. Okay, see, T dash represents star. As it is representing star, I am considering this one. T dash represents star FT dash. Okay, as it is in the first, I am representing T dash represents FT dash production. Okay, and we are having the second terminal as epsilon. As epsilon is not considered in the parse table, so I am replacing this epsilon with the follow of T dash production. Okay, as we are replacing the epsilon, we will consider the production as T dash represents epsilon. Okay, see, here we are having plus closed brace and dollar. In these three positions, I am considering the projection T dash represents epsilon, as it is replacing the value of terminal epsilon. Okay. Now coming to F. In the F also we are having open race and ID. So I am placing the F projections here. F represents open race. As it is representing the open race, I am taking F derives open race E and closed race. Okay. And the second terminal is ID. F derives ID. As it is deriving ID, I am considering ID. This is how the parse table will be constructed in the non-recursive descent parsing or predictive parsing. Okay. See, here by using the predictive parsing program, I have constructed a parse table. Okay. Now we need to take an input string and check whether the table which we have constructed in the parse table is accepting the input string or not. Okay. Now I am taking an example input string and I am checking whether the input string is accepting the grammar or not. Okay. The input string is ID plus ID star ID dollar. Okay. This is the input string which we have taken, and by using the parse table we need to check whether this input string is accepting the given grammar or not. This is the parse table which we have constructed by using the first and follow of the given grammar. Okay, by using this parse table, we need to check whether this string is accepting or not. Okay, see. First dollar is placed in the stack. Okay, this is the basic operation. First dollar is placed in the stack. Okay, see. In the grammar, we are having the first projection as E. Okay, now I am taking the first projection as E. Okay, ID plus ID star ID dollar. Okay, now I am checking E on ID in the parse table. Okay, in E on ID, we are having a projection E tends to T E dash. Okay, so I am considering that one. E tends to T E dash. Okay, so I am replacing this E with T E dash. Okay, as we are considering the stack to store these elements, so the element which has entered in the first will be appeared at the last. E dash is the first element, so I am placing E dash here, and the next element is T. Okay, I am placing T here. Okay, see, the input string is E plus ID, ID plus ID star ID dollar. Okay, now I am checking T on ID dash. Okay, T on ID. Okay, T on ID, we have a projection T derives FT dash. Okay, now I am replacing T with this projection FT dash. Okay, dollar E dash T dash F. The input string remains same as there are no changes in this input string. Okay, now I am considering F on ID. F on ID, we are having F derives ID, so I have placed F derives ID here. Okay, in the next step, I am replacing F with ID. E dash T dash F is replaced with ID, and the input string remains as it is. Okay, see, here we are having the stack element and the input string, we are having the same elements. Okay, at this position I am taking off these two elements, as these two elements are same. I'm not considering these two elements. I'm striking off these two elements. Okay, now we need to consider T dash on plus. Okay, T dash on plus, we are having epsilon. Okay, So I need to replace t dash with epsilon. Input string will be plus id star id dollar. Okay, so epsilon means there is no value, it is null value, so I am not considering any value here. Okay, now I am considering e dash with plus. E dash on plus, we are having a production e dash derives plus t e dash. Okay, so I'm replacing e dash value as e dash t plus. Input string is plus id star id dollar. Okay, here we are having the same values in the stack and the input string, so I'm striking off these two values. Okay, and we are having we need to check t on id. T on id, we are having a production t represents ft dash. I am replacing t with t dash f. The remaining string is id star id dollar. Okay, now we need to check f on id. F on id derives id, so I am replacing f with id. As we are having the same terminals in the stack value and input string, so I am striking off these two values. Okay, now I need to check t dash on star. T dash on star. Okay, we are having a production t dash represents star ft dash. Okay, here I am replacing t dash with t dash f star. Okay, and the remaining input string is star id dollar. Okay, as we are having the same symbols in the stack and input string, I am striking off these two values, and the remaining value is f on id. F on id, we are having f derives id. Okay, I am replacing f with id. We are having id here, so we are having the same symbols in the stack and the input string, so I am cancelling these two. Okay, and the remaining value is dollar e dash t dash. T dash on dollar. T dash on dollar, we are having a production t dash represents epsilon. Okay, so t dash is epsilon, as it is a null value, I am not considering it. Dollar on e dash. E dash on dollar, here also we are having epsilon, so dollar will be remain. As epsilon is considered as a null value, dollar is remained in this stack. See here, we are remained with a dollar value in the stack and the dollar value in the input string. Okay, in this current position, we will say that the input string which we have taken is accepting the grammar.